This is verse 26 of the 18th chapter of the Gospel of John. We're back in the drama that's unfolding in the outer courtyard there, where Peter has been standing and warming himself. He's already denied once to the female who was guarding the door to that courtyard area of the high priest's home. Already denied once that he knows Jesus or is associated with him, and now we have another occasion coming along. So lege, from lego, I say, third person singular, present active indicative. So he or she says, and then heis, this is from the number one. So heis is the masculine, heis mia is the feminine, hen is the neuter. So this is a masculine adjective, the number one, so it may be a male that's in view here. So one says, who is this one? Well, the prepositional phrase here is ek. Preposition takes the genitive, so we have the genitive masculine plural article with the word doulos in the genitive plural, so one of the slaves. And then a further descriptive phrase here, two, the genitive singular article of the, and then archiereos, of the high priest, presumably referring to Caiaphas. So one of the slaves of the high priest says. And then there's a further explanatory comment here. So we have sungenes. By the way, a double gamma will usually be translated or pronounced as an NG sound, so sungenes. This is based on the preposition sun, which means together, and genes, which has to do with family relationships. And so it really translates broadly as a relative. And so we have one of the slaves of the high priest, and then further explaining a relative. Here we have the participle, so it's a present active participle, masculine singular nominative, going back to the subject, the heis here. So we have a relative being, and then the relative pronoun, this point, who, which is masculine singular genitive, so it's a relative of, and then the one whom would be the notion, apekopsen. This is a word we saw earlier. This is the aorist active indicative, third person singular, of the one with respect to whom Peter had cut off. So that's the meaning of this word. It's the third person singular, aorist active indicative. So Peter here had cut off, then to otion, the ear. So we have a person who was there, was an eyewitness, and seems to have done a positive ID of Peter at this point. He's a relative of the one, being a relative of the one with respect to whom Peter had cut off the ear. And then the question is put here, uk. It's the negative, but it's expecting a positive answer. Did I not see? This is the sense of it. So uk ego, for emphasis, didn't I see se. So did not I see you, then adon, of course the word for see. This is the first person singular, aorist active indicative. Did I not see you? In, preposition with the dative, to kepo, the garden. So didn't I see you in the garden? Met, from meta, with, takes the genitive out to, with him, referring to Jesus. So now that Peter is facing another question, and this is from someone who was presumably standing right there and took some special interest in the act of violence perpetrated by Peter when he saw the injury sustained by this one who was the servant of the high priest. And so the question is put to Peter even more directly now with respect to his connections to Jesus.